Hey everyone, welcome to the Rabbi Money Show. This is a great day today. I noticed we got some subscribers that joined us, some new ones. I just want to say thank you. I'm still on cloud nine, 100 subscribers in just a few days and ever growing. And so I just wanted to say thank you. That's amazing. I've been getting feedback from different people, and some of them have been the offliners that know me directly, that watch the channel. One of the feedbacks was, wear the hat. So here we go. We're wearing the hat, and we also got the jacket on. They're like, dress up, Rabbi Money. So I want to be authentic. Like, if you know me, I'm not like wearing a suit all the time, but I do have nice clothes, and so I put a jacket on over a nice t-shirt. I love this shirt. It gets a lot of knowledge. Schoolhouse Rock t-shirt. Love this shirt. So what I wanted to talk about today was some more like mindset things, because I think when you get your mindset right, and that's why I think it's like so important to read, that as you get your mindset right, like the rest falls in line. But the other thing that you really need is massive action, and that's the main thing that I want to talk about. A lot of people, and myself included, so I'm not like this is like not a criticism on anyone, but like what we do is we like analyze and analyze and analyze, or think about and think about and think about, but we never actually get out there and do it. And like massive action in creating a video, or like starting to invest, or just like the process of like trying is very important. And so like one of my mentors that taught me some very important life lessons and millionaire lessons was like, I love failure. What? Like, failure? You love failure? Yeah, I love to fail. I want to fail. I want to fail at 100,000 level. I want to fail at 250. I want to fail at 1,000,000. I want to have big failures, because people that fail at big levels are also able to succeed at big levels. And so like I want to think about like Michael Jordan, right? He failed a lot, but then he won a lot, right? So it's just really a common sense principle. But I want to say something today that hopefully motivates you to like do what you have been desiring. So the other day we were talking about this very thing with a few my new acquaintances, friends, and it was like, I want to lose weight. Rabbi Money channel. I want to lose weight. I want to get thinner. So what am I going to do about it? I'm going to do 150 squats right now. And so I did 150 squats, and today I'm like almost recovered, so I can start doing squats again tomorrow. And I'm believing that I will be able to, or Friday after the food distribution. So if you didn't know, I'm huge into charity, and we do food distributions. If you want to check out my work there, you can go to leoa.org. That's LEOA.org, which stands for Love Each Other Always. Love Each Other Always. LEOA.org. And for our Army or military people, that's Lima Echo Oscar Alpha.org. So anyways, I really am like pumped about like getting goals done in my own life, and I think every one of us, we have our own strengths and we have our own weaknesses, but if we can continue to make improvements and think better, about what's true, and think better about what's like a noble thought, like what's a noble thought? Like a thought that, of chivalry, a thought of kindness, and like a thought that's something that we can actually apply in our day-to-day lives, will really help. And so, yeah, I want to encourage you in your thinking, and I want to encourage you in your action. And if you will write down, again, I'm going to go back to some of the previous vlogs. If you'll write down your goals, your dreams, what you want to do, and then you will write down like a specific, like, this is what I'm going to do. It will help you in your reaching those goals. So let me share a Weeble screen here, because I know I've been saying that we're going to take an account to over 100, and I'm trying to start the account out at a low balance, so I had to transfer some money out because I really want to start it from a low balance and just show you like we can build an account up. And so right now I have 3 positions, and I might have to do this on another day depending on what. There we go. Okay, it's working. So here we go. We have $110 and what is that? 89 cents and 3 shares. AT&T, Ford, and Kellogg, right? So we're gonna figure out how to take $110.89 and turn it into a lot more. So I'll be sharing the journey of how I do that. Right now we have some losses on those 2 of those. In fact, I want to make sure that that's correct. Make sure that that's my internet is not working. That's one of the things that's was like a hindrance for me for wanting to even start a YouTube channel, is because I always made the excuse that like I don't have the internet speed in my rural, like country living area that I want to be able to make things happen. So I was able to get some mobile hotspots, hook up through Mobile Beacon and Boost and T-Mobile connection network, through the nonprofit, but it's still not like where I could like live stream, which is I'm gonna make an attempt at live streaming, but it's still not where I can live stream and really have multiple devices doing things at the same time, because I really want to show you my process. That way you can hopefully duplicate some of my experience in your own life and grow. So I might just have to do those screenshots and just show you like or tell you verbally, this is what I did and this is the transaction and etc. But hopefully I can just be honest and real, and that will help you in your journey in growing, whether it's in finance or business. Just was on the phone today with a lawyer talking about trademarks. So there's a lot of things. I do really kind of want to customize the content to the subscribers. So if you're a subscriber and you're actually watching this video, and I know a lot of you just really subscribe to help me out, if you would post a comment of some things that you're interested in knowing about, and I will share that on the channel. I did get some questions, so I'm going to start reading those, but one of them was, what made you get into investing? And I would say like we're all products of like our family and the dynamic that we observed growing up. I would say I was raised by 2 mindsets, like a rich mind and a poor middle class mindset. My mom, I would call her my rich mom. She was from a aristocracy type of a family in Persia or Iran. I have like stories of, when she was young, they had servants and rooms full of different products from the farm, and just like warehouse almost status of, like cantaloupes or rice or whatever, tea or saffron or whatever they were storing. I don't remember the details, but I do remember those stories growing up, or at least that's what I still think today. And those tapes play in a child or in a person, and that perception helps solidify our reality. So I have that mindset, right, from my mom, and then I have another mindset from my dad, where he was like more of a poor mind. He didn't really. I didn't get a lot of family stories from him, and in fact, he often would come up to me and say, "I didn't have a father. I apologize." I remember him looking at me as a little boy and just saying, "I want to be a good dad, and I don't even know how, and I'm gonna do the best I can. Please forgive me." And that was just amazing, just to have someone that had like please forgive me, like I'm trying to do good by you. And I think I have that in me. Like I even feel that way making this channel. Is like I'm trying to like share knowledge and be like amazing and answer questions, and if I don't do a good job, please forgive me. So I hope that I hope that what I share helps you. So anyways, when someone asks me like what made you get into investing, I think we're a product of our life. And one of the things that happened to me as a young boy is I saw the financial fights, and that's like a normal thing that couples go through, where they argue about finances, especially if finances are tough. But even when finances are not tough and there's lots of wealth or whatever, I think people struggle, and they argue about, like whether the money should be spent on an investment, or whether it should be spent on a vacation, or whether it should be spent on, a new car, or, a liability or an asset. And there's arguments sometimes even in wealth about how money should be spent. So I think that it is important to know that that's kind of like my background, is I witnessed those things, and I kind of like from a young age was like, I'm not going to fight when I grow up. I want shalom in the house. And I also want to not have to buy my house with like debt. I want to be able to buy it cash. And I was able to accomplish those childhood dreams, like buying a house for cash and not for credit or with a note, and actually becoming the bank when I sold that house, because I owned that property myself. So I think what got me into investing originally as a young boy, or wanting to get involved in the world of business, entrepreneurship, money, etc., was the struggle. The struggle pushed me toward that. And then the next big major catalyst was when I worked in a bank and our credit union as a teller. One of my second or third jobs ever in my life, I got to see balances of wealthy, poor, middle class people. And I remember asking my wealthier customers, "What do you do?" Like, you're staring at the deposit, and the balance, and they're like millionaires, and you're like, "What do you do?" And what was intriguing is the answer was always, I'm a business owner, or I'm an investor, whether it was real estate or, investing in the stock market. And that was before crypto existed. So that was really, really like an eye opener for me, that like almost every time someone told me what they, you know, were doing to be wealthy, it was either I own a business or I'm an investor, whether it's real estate or stocks, etc., commodities, whatever. And I never got any like training from everyone, because it's a short conversation. It's like, what do you do? And then they move on, next customer. But it sent me on a journey to like want to know more. And I really got to give a shout out, and I'm not sponsored, but I got to give a real big shout out to Robert Kiyosaki and his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, because that book like blew my mind when it came to like how to be wealthy. I had no concept or ever a mentor other than my mom about how to be wealthy, and I don't really feel like she trained me to be wealthy because her father handled the family farm and business. She just was accustomed to the lifestyle, and she did learn some great, like, she still has great investing advice if I ever ask her, but like she just understands that economics, or the like how the rich think and how they control the market and when to buy and sell, and different things like that. She's very useful in talking to. But however, Rich Dad Poor Dad and the concept of like buying assets and not liabilities, and what is an asset, not a CPA definition, but a business owner definition, or an investment asset. Like, what is an asset? And a thing that you own that puts money in your pocket. Like that, I remember I couldn't sleep for like 3 days after I found out that, you know, there is such a thing as spending your money on a different category. And then I began looking for, how do I invest? Because I wanted to play Monopoly in real life. I always loved that game. And so I would say that was what made me get into investing. And then really from that book forward is when I started like making attempts at assets. That doesn't mean I got it right or understood everything, but those failures that we talked about earlier on the video really helped me learn lessons, and then I could fall forward and I'm not going to do that again, or I am going to do that again. And so I would say that that would be my answer to that question. So the next question I got was, when did you kind of get to the point in your life where it didn't matter, like that if you wore a t-shirt and you were wealthy and you were talking on Rabbi Money channel, or like when did you say, you know, I don't want to use an expletive, but like heck with it and I'll just be me and retire. And so at 32 I retired, and I still cared about what people said. Excuse me, I need to put my phone in airplane mode. I still cared about what people said, but I think at some point I just realized, like, after I would say my dark phase, because I think if you've never had wealth and you get wealth to the point where you don't have to work and all your needs are met, you go through like a dark phase unless you have a coach to tell you not to do that, and like that's going to be bad for you. And so I learned like not to binge Netflix and just like get depressed and stuff. Like I learned some good lessons there. But I would say at some point after the dark phase, I decided that I was going to, you know, do what I was passionate about. And because I had the freedom to. And then after I started doing that and realizing how exhilarating and like good that was, I kicked myself and I was like, why didn't I do this when I wasn't free? And so then you realize like hard work exists no matter what, but then you're working on something that you're passionate about versus another. And where you work hard and you're really trying and you make efforts, there's profit in that, and that profit will sustain you. And so I just wish more people would do what they're passionate about. Like if you love playing the ukulele, then you would play that. If you love drawing and art, like that, you would do that. Why would you be a metalsmith if that's not your passion? Or why would you be an employee hatching eggs, if your passion is not that. Like, don't do something just because, my kids, like, we have family businesses that go back into the 1800s and 1900s, different portfolios and stuff of businesses. And now that we've acquired through mergers and acquisitions, like, I didn't grow up with that. I'm not trying to say like I had this backing and this foundation or something before, and that allowed for I lost my train of thought for a second. Doing what you love, and not being discouraged. Yeah, I don't know why. Why did I have the desire to try to defend? Like, I had this thought that maybe people would judge me that I said that we have foundations that go back into the 1800s or 1900s, different years, that they'll think, oh, he came from money. So he told us his mom, whatever. No, that's not the case. My mom left Iran. She came to America. She was poor. She was a waitress. Like, they lived in an apartment when I was a kid. Like, they didn't inherit anything at any point, and then it passed down to me as a trust fund baby or something like that. We actually worked to get to where we are. So, and we're thankful. We're thankful for like the journey. And I think, like I was saying, is like, I'm telling my kids that they should do what they're interested in, not do what daddy wants them to do or mommy wants them to do. Like, I asked my girls, what do you want to do? And Miriam's like, I want to be charitable and feed the hungry. And my other daughters, what do you want to do? I want to be a cardiologist. I want to be a veterinarian. And my son, I want to be a landscaper. And like, I don't think any of those, like, I don't think like, oh, you're a landscaper and you're a heart doctor, like, oh, you're so much better than the other. No, we need services at every level, and they're all important. So do what you're passionate about. Like, why would you want to be stuck in the medical field doing that when you are passionate about gardening and landscaping? Like, do what you're passionate about. So that would be my answer to like, when did I just say heck with it and do what I was interested in, and retire. And the next one was, what did I buy to become retired? And that's actually a very interesting story. So after I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I knew I needed to be a business owner or investor. And I still thought business owner was like, I ultimately ended up buying a self-employed business, not like a business where I could completely not work, because my wife was the accountant, tax preparer person, and did payroll. And then she did all the books and invoicing. So it wasn't really like we owned something and other people worked for us and we just owned it, which is what he talks about in the book. It was more like kind of a self-employed situation that we bought. But I personally didn't have to be there all the time. So in one respect, I was able to kind of be a business owner, but not really. And then my dad joined us as an I offered him 50% of the dental company that we purchased. And it was interesting because the people who are really close to us that offered, I keep it kind of anonymous for their sake, but they had owned their dental equipment service repair business for quite some time, and they wanted to get rid of it. And so I told them, give it to your children, and they were like, our children don't want it. And I was like, well, we'll buy it from you. And so we started that business, and we asked for training before we acquired it. And my dad was a technician already, so I said, come be the technician, I'll give you 50% of the company. So we basically made a deal with an existing firm to buy the firm on good faith and make payments out of continuing to keep it alive versus them just shutting it down. And they were willing to, they knew that we were serious and that we wanted to get training, and so they were willing to do that, and we were able to run it in the black, and 3 years running. And eventually the stress of never owning a business before and not knowing what to do started to get to my wife, and so that caused us to want to liquidate and sell. So that was our kind of, you could say, our start. And we took that money and we did some investment in stocks and real estate and just grew from there. And then we lost it all. My wife and I, we filed for bankruptcy, $250,000 in bankruptcy, and then we had to build it all back up again. But once you've learned the rules, like I was saying in the previous video, once you learn the rules of wealth, you know how to like get there. If that makes sense. There's different shows about it. Like you've probably seen Undercover Billionaire or whatever, where they just go into a town and start with $100 in their hand, and the next thing you know, they're got $1 million company in 90 days. And so if you have experience and expertise, then you can take wealth and grow it. And so that's kind of one of the things that I'm going to be sharing on the channel, is like that journey. And I know a lot of you are like, get to it already, but I do want to make sure that the quality is at the right level and I can share as much as possible. So I will be doing that. I am starting, like I showed you today, the Weeble, $100, starting with $100 investment. And yeah, and so that's kind of some of those questions. Let's see if there's any other questions that we had that were asked. I need a new piece of paper. This one is full. I'm going to show you this paper, by the way. It's not like high class or fancy. And in fact, I even have like random doodles and things on here. And it's just like my thoughts brainstormed. And I probably could be better if I like, this is the plan. And so I probably could be better if I like catalog this and organize this. But I was able to work on these goals and dreams. And so I believe that we're having an impact, like this is benefiting different people and at the level that we're at now, and that it will be watched by others. That's why we're doing our best to communicate well. I was able to reach out to a friend of mine who has some resources and say, hey, could you help me with some thumbnails and editing and etc. And so the first video has a thumbnail now. I'd like some feedback on what you think about that thumbnail. If you can look at the vlog 1 thumbnail and tell me what you think. That's one of our models that we were able to subcontract with my friend who owns marketing, and we have the rights to use that and all that. But we put our logo on there, and tell me what you think. I think it's like clickbaity, and because it's like a beautiful girl, right? And it just says what it is, but I think that's better than me. Like maybe if I had a better picture of me, like a studio shot of myself, and then it, ultimate clickbait would be like me with a girl, right? Like a studio shot with a model or whatever. And so it's just marketing, like. But I would like to know what your thoughts and feedback are. And so the next one was to increase knowledge and information, and I've been studying about like what is important to the audience. And some of the things that I found are, I try to listen to people who have millions of subscribers and see what they say, and they are actually trying to share their knowledge. And one of the things that they've been sharing is that you do need to create content because your heart is for the people, not for yourself to be famous and have 1,000,000 subscribers or 1,000 subscribers. And I have been asking people to help me by subscribing, but I think my underlying motivation is true, which is to have an impact and help others grow, and maybe somebody will relate to me better than a Gary Vee or a you know, I don't know, Logan Paul or whoever else is Mr. Beast, that I have a uniqueness that will bless you. So yeah, that's kind of, one of the things that I really am trying to work on right now is to create that. And we got someone coming in the door. You want to come in here? You might be on the channel.
No.
All right, well.
Do we have any cheap towels?
Do we have any cheap towels? Yeah, there's right in the house there. There's a bunch of towels. You can just grab them by the laundry. They're usually in a blue box thing. Yeah, so we have staff and friends and people here all the time. We're very hospitable, and so we just got a question. Do we have any cheap towels? Yes. Live comment. I asked for it and the universe provided. Shalom, everyone. Well, I hope you had a great time on the channel and you enjoyed it. And if you do have any questions, please submit them. I really am looking forward to questions so that I can continue content. And in the meantime, I will just keep pushing out stuff and information. And I hope you have a great day. I really do. Shalom, shalom.